Whew, look at all the shavings. I made all these mostly from these two little pieces of wood. About 5 feet long. But I'm making, they're the beginnings of a frame that's going to go around these two pieces of sheet metal. These bought a, it's not an oil pan, it's an oil, it catches the drips of oil from your car. If you got a leak, you put it under your car. I cut it into these pieces, and they're gonna go inside here. One's gonna go on there, and one's gonna go here, with the piece in the middle, and it's gonna go on the side of a bookcase, like a a magnetic board to put your notes and pictures and whatnot, all that stuff. I had to make one end of these a little bit wider because the shelf isn't plumb. You can kind of see that's about 1.5 inches or so. It's maybe a little less. And this down here is around 1 inch. And so when it goes on, it'll make that side of the bookcase look like it's 90 degrees. So this is basically how the magnet board, I guess, is going to be. I'm going to have these pieces here. They're going to fit there. That one, and there's going to be one in the middle here, and another one down here on the end. Like, oh, look at that. I screwed up. I made this too short. So that's going to go there. I'm not going to go through that and make more pieces to make that longer. I'm just going to cut this sheet metal in and then go on from there. Well, I've got the grooves cut out for those pieces of sheet metal. They're going to fit in these grooves right here. I got to use my newly made kerfing plane, which worked just perfectly for this, and put a groove in there, or a kerf about a 1/2 inch or so deep, and that'll hold the piece of sheet metal in place. And I'll have, let's see, I got started with making some joinery for the end pieces here. This, you can see this has the groove in it, and this piece will go on this end. And it inevitably happens. You get to working, and you get to using and going, and this and that. And well, my first try, I put that groove in the wrong edge, but luckily it's going to be all hidden down inside here. That's going to be up against the side of the bookshelf, and that's not going to make any difference at all. What I did do, though, was it got late in the day, and I was getting kind of tired, and you can see that that's kind of all chewed up. Got to working on this, and I knew as it was going, I knew that it was not going to turn out very well. That I knew that it's like, oh, you're getting tired, you better quit now before things go awry. But it's all. This is going to end up being painted, and we're going to put some caulk in all of these places, and it's going to be on the back side, so that's going to be all hidden. And then I got this metal piece right here. This has got a groove on both sides. It's going to sit in the middle of this. I'll get some grooves, some joints cut for it so that it'll fit in the middle part here. And here's the bottom piece. It's going to go way down at the bottom, of course. You can see how different this is. There's the difference in the width and the height, whatever. The top being that much wider than the bottom to make it all come out plumb in the end. Okay, so here it is, basically ready to be put up onto the bookshelf. It went together. It was not easy. I could not do it by myself. I had to get some help. And as you can see, these joints, they're kind of crude. They didn't come out very clean. But this is all going to be painted and caulked. And so a lot of that will be hidden. I guess I'm hoping that all of it will be hidden, especially up here. This is at the very top, so this is going to be, nobody's going to notice this poor job that I did. So that's a good thing. And I wasn't quite sure how I was going to make it stay together. So I ended up putting some little, I drilled some holes with you know, a tiny drill bit, and put these little finishing nails down in there with some CA glue. And I'm hoping that that's, because it's going to be glued onto the side of the shelf anyway, so those are going to be moot, kind of, after it gets up on there, because the glue is going to hold it onto the bookcase. So hopefully this will do the trick and do what it is meant to do. It's, you know, so I didn't think it was going to come together there at one point. But anyhow, you can see that it's still got the protective coating on it, in case you were wondering what that blue color is.